Mark Strang, Gazeley Real Estate Group, and we've got in the community today. I've got Jan McDonald, Director of Events with Kingston BIA with us, and we're talking about Blues Fest. So talking Blues Fest here with Jan, I've actually got an interesting story about Blues Fest myself. First time I came to Kingston about 15 years ago when I was looking at moving here, interviewed at a golf course here in the city. I came downtown after the interview, saw Blues Fest. I said, this is the sort of atmosphere I want to live in. Kingston's a great city, we absolutely love it. Never moving away from here, this is where I want to be. So that's my Blues Fest story. And it's really exciting to be back at full capacity this year after a few years of limited capacity. Just give us a brief overview of the event and what we have in store this year.
Sure, so you're absolutely right. We are so delighted to be back with a full festival this year. We weren't able to run anything in 2020, of course. The nice thing was a lot of the acts that we had hired for 2020 were very excited to be able to come in 2022. 2021, we did a very shortened version of the festival, so we're back to our 4 days capacity, which means that we start on Thursday, August 25th in the afternoon. We always start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and have acts on our free stage, which is the Confederation Park stage, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoons. And then we have our headliners the 3 evenings. So Thursday evening at 8 o'clock, we have the fabulous Dione, Canadian female artist. She will knock the socks off downtown Kingston on Thursday evening. Then Friday, we move our stage up to the Metro parking lot, so up in the hub area. Opening up is J.W. Jones, very well-known blues act from Ottawa. He's been around for a while, but we love having him back. He's full of energy, has a great band. And he's opening for Crystal Shawanda. So it's her first time here. She's Canadian, but is living in Nashville and really making a name for herself in the blues industry. So we're delighted to have her as our headliner on Friday evening. Saturday, the stage moves down to Market Square. So our main event is 3 acts that evening, and we're opening up with Jerome Tucker Band from Toronto. Jerome has played on the Confederation Park stage a few times, so he's very excited to be moving up, so to speak, to the big stage. The middle act is a trio, a Horojo trio. They're from Ottawa, so it's J.W. Jones again with Jeff Rogers on keyboard, who's been here before, and they're a dynamite trio, so they'll be great for the middle act. Headliner that evening is Albert Cummings. So Albert's coming from the United States. We had him booked for 2020. He is a great guitarist. He'll be a perfect way to round out the main stage on Saturday night.
Well, that's just so exciting, Jan, and congratulations on bringing Blues Fest back to full capacity.
Thank you.
There's obviously a lot that's involved behind the scenes and putting together a large-scale event like this together. Maybe give us a peek behind the scenes on how artists are booked, how venues are secured, and all those great things.
Sure, so there's a lot of research that goes into it. We attend every year the Blues Society in Toronto and the Maple Blues Awards, so we often see new and up-and-coming bands that we might book through that way. Then, of course, anybody in the agent business knows that they're constantly contacting festival promoters and producers. So I get a lot of CDs, I get a lot of information through email, and we have a wish list of artists that we'd like to bring to Kingston, so we sort of knock as many off of that wish list as we can. And then every year there's somebody new and exciting that we really try to get. So I can think of an example from 2009, which is a really long time ago, but I heard wind of this new and upcoming really young artist from Texas named Gary Clark Jr. Nobody had heard of him at that time, so we brought him up to Kingston for what would be considered now an extremely reasonable fee. Now he's commanding hundreds of thousands of dollars and plays with Eric Clapton. So every once in a while we get lucky and get a really exciting new artist to play on our stage, but yeah, it's a fun process, and we'll start planning in the fall for next year.
Well, that's great. We appreciate all your hard work into the event and all the great stuff that it brings our community. if I'm correct, the event dates back to the 90s, and I'm just wondering the history of how Blues Fest started then and where we are today.
Sure. So we're actually in our 25th year this year. So we're celebrating 25. It would have been 25 last year if we hadn't missed 2020. But it started, the impetus was our original and founding executive director, Doug Ritchie, who's a huge blues fan, was looking for something the last weekend of the summer before Labor Day, which was typically not as busy a weekend in downtown Kingston. People were getting ready to go back to school, that sort of thing. So the idea was to organize an event that would bring people downtown into the restaurants and the hotels and the shops on that weekend. And because he was such a lover of blues, he thought, well, let's try this, and here we are 25 years later.
Oh, that's wonderful history. One of the things that we really love about this event is how it does support the local businesses and how music actually goes back into the pubs and the restaurants after. I'm just wondering if you could elaborate on what the surrounding things are that are involved in Blues Fest this year.
Sure. So typically we would have music in the clubs on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday. We do this year. Unfortunately, not as many clubs as there used to be. We've lost a few. For example, the Royal Tavern closed. The Merchant isn't having live bands, but we still have a good list of in the clubs. And there's some restaurants that are involved this year for the first time, which is great. So new restaurants like the Caesar Company and Whiskey and Rosé. And then the other thing that we do is we work with our downtown restaurants in a program called Homegrown Blues Food.
So Jan, where do people get these bracelets? How do they get involved with this?
So they can get them in a number of places. They're available online through our website, downtownkingston.ca. They can also get them at any of the gates or any of the venues the night of the festival. And from now until the festival, they're also available at any of the participating venues.
That's wonderful. Thanks for your time today, and good luck with Blues Fest.
Thank you very much.